Vacation, Laurie Kilmartin.
It's early in the morning, New Year's Eve.
Boy.
I'm Jackie Cation.
I'm Laurie Kilmartin. I'm in the lobby of the Hilton in Sacramento.
A nice Hilton?
Well,
No?
I think it's the first Hilton. And
Ever?
possibly. They have bathtubs. That's how old this Hilton is.
That is good.
They charged me. They don't have coffee downstairs. Like this little cup like this, $5
Oh my.
plus tax. So
Wait a minute.
$7.
Is it it's got to be a Garden Inn then. It's probably a Garden
not.
Inn.
No, it's
Is
a really
it a
old
DoubleTree?
No, Jackie, it's a Hilton.
No,
You need to
there's a
calm
Hilton
down.
Garden Inn. There's a Hilton DoubleTree. There's a Hilton Hampton Inn.
No, I know.
It
I'm
just
aware.
says Hilton. It just
It
says
is
Hilton.
a Hilton, and it's very old. It's like a building with it looks like a Soviet style architecture. It looks like it was done in the 60s. You know,
Yeah,
one of those.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very old.
No.
You
Yeah.
know, like the Hyatt in San Francisco. You ever seen that one?
Nope.
It's not the same, but it feels like it was the same architect, but he got paid a lot less for this one, so he just made it straight up and down.
A couple of I will say that a couple of the Hiltons will sometimes be like that. I'm trying to figure out, am I using all of the right? Yes,
I can hear you.
Good, because I did a couple of dork forests over the weekend, and there was a little echo, and it just ended up really annoying me. And so I don't know what Patrick Brady will do. Though I did get an email from Patrick Brady. The dork forest, here's the thing about having Max Fun as part of our team. They know things.
Right.
And for a short amount of time, I was with All Things Comedy. And they almost cared about the dork forest. Oh, it was so close. So close to them giving a shit about my comedy, about my podcast. I was one of the first.
Jackie, get him.
I was one of the first 6 people to sign with, because I like Al Madrigal.
Right.
Even though he is made of bees, even though he is entirely full of rage.
Okay. I like a rage-filled comic.
Oh my God.
I understand
if he
that.
wasn't, yeah. Have you ever heard his bit? Like, I heard it before it was a bit.
With the shrimp?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
complete
astonishing.
and utter. It's
A
real
sociopath.
petty bullshit. It's real petty bullshit. Yeah.
That I love.
yeah, you do. And
if people don't know, it's out there on the internet. Al Madrigal, it's shrimp. It'll come up. It'll
come up.
The nastiest, grossest, pettiest thing to someone who wronged him. And I think we can all look up to that as an example on how to behave.
I have decided that what is that? I have something on my hand. Squirrel.
Their fingers, Jackie. Oh, okay.
Oh, Christ. Something is happening with my hand. Okay, so I've decided that I'm not going to fight any of these people anymore. I'm done fighting. I'll stand up against the bad guys, but I won't. I've decided to no longer get into fights. I'm made of peace now. I'm made
Jackie,
of serenity.
You just have 5,000 in merch that says you're made of bees. You need to stay on brand until you sell that shit.
True that. It's the made of bees joke has actually morphed into me talking about my anger issues.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So it's got legs for sure.
It's got legs. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got wings.
it's got a hummingbird-like flight path in a way that it doesn't really have wings. But I have too many premises, it's talk about privilege.
Mm-hmm.
I have got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to let's call it premises. It's 8:30 in the morning, you guys.
Jackie, that's a comedian's way of saying your life is going to shit right now.
That I have a lot of premises and no punchlines?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't say no punchlines. A lot of premises. A lot of shit
that's
to talk about.
the inner dialogue. Oh, that's right. A lot of shit to talk about when you have so many premises. Fair enough. Plus a fair amount of navel gazing, right? Like if
Mhm.
I saw
When do you have
Tom Pop.
time? You're the busiest lady I know right now. You're
I
driving to
know. I'm
hospitals.
trying. Right. I'm trying to have an inner life, Laurie. An inner life.
All right.
And what that means is I'm hiding inside myself like I'm 8. That don't think I'm not doing some serious rereading of some books. I have definitely just rescinded. I've just pulled back into a very
I,
everyone's gonna hate
ha-
me.
have you rescinded into yourself from the bit that stands next to a man she likes for 6 years without saying anything to him? Is that you
uh,
now? Now?
no, because I'm
Okay.
actually saying stuff to Andy, and we had a really good conversation actually because his mom is bummed. She's bummed. She's
Yeah.
bored.
Yeah.
She she's in the hospital.
She's in pain, and
She's in
she's
pain
in her
and she's
80s, and it fucking sucks, man.
late 70s, which is
70s,
younger every
yes.
year. And and yeah, but she's feeling physically better.
Hmm.
So that means she's irritated, right?
Yeah.
And but she still has the strength of a kitten, and it's it's just not
Yeah.
it's just hard. Though
Jackie,
I will
I've
say,
been there. I remember that. I remember that.
yeah,
It's really hard as the caregiver to deal with all those emotions that the person is feeling, possibly for the first time if they've been relatively healthy their whole life, right?
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
so they're in some world that we will be in one day, probably, but can't
right,
understand now. And it's fucking hard.
yeah, it's pretty hard. And I had to pick her up about 4 or 5 days ago and help her onto this thing,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of bodily function. It was it could be the last time I do that, and I'd be all right with that. And but I accidentally grabbed. Did I tell you this? I grabbed her boob, and
Okay.
she goes, "Oh, best day of my life," because I said accidentally grabbed your boob, and she goes, "Oh, best day of my life." And then Andy came in, and I told him that, and she goes, "Well, it must not have been that great because I barely remember it." And
Well, that's yeah, my mom didn't we didn't have here's my mom was really good at because she had diarrhea. She was really good at cleaning it herself,
okay,
except one time. And
right.
that one time I still remember I never want to do I never want to be that person. I wonder if I can just sew up my asshole when I'm like 81 and just see how that goes.
Just well, get one of those, get a stint, like a pipe
Yeah.
coming right from that thing where you can just sort of turn a nozzle
Yeah.
and just empty it. I'd like to
Yeah.
empty my bladder and my
Seriously,
intestines.
why could we
Totally.
stop trying to go to Mars and then just add a pipe to our asses when we when we hit 82? That would be nice.
Right. Chris is like, I want to live to 85. And I did not say this, but I almost did. I just said, like this? You want to. I did not say that because that would have been. She might have hit me. She might have. She might have literally found the strength to murder me.
Oh my God.
Right, but she's also, in addition to and they're swapping out all these meds, and so she's
Right.
super confused, and she
Yeah.
doesn't know where the hell she is. So, the journey continues.
Yeah.
Just gonna keep plugging along, and we could talk about comedy. It's New Year's
Yeah.
Eve. You have a show
Let's.
tonight, right?
I had 4 shows this weekend at the Punchline.
Oh my gosh, that's
Have you
so
at
cool.
Sacramento? Have you worked Sacramento Punchline?
Not in decades. Molly, I would like to. Thank you.
It is so fun. I love it. It's just a fun room and they're fun crowds. There was not a dud of a crowd the entire
Oh,
time. They
good.
were all playful. They recorded. I got a lot of clips I'm going to be posting as soon as I go through them. I'm so
Right.
backlogged on all that shit. It
Mm-hmm.
was fun. I worked with Joe Klosik was featuring. You don't know Joe?
Not
He's the
offhand,
guy
but
that
probably.
I've known him since he was like a baby. Like I've known him almost my whole comedy career, and he just
Mm-hmm.
featured, he usually headlines and all that stuff, but he's hanging around. And he's the guy that when we did a triple run together, like in the 90s
Yeah.
in Montana, and it was so cold that when I ran in to do radio because we were running late, and he came in right after me, and he had my car door handle in his hand because it had broken
Snapped
off in
off?
his hand. It was so cold. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Joe. So yeah, and then our MC, who will be the comic of the week. So I'm not gonna say her name yet,
right?
But she was great.
You got history with Joe, yeah.
I do, and so I had to tell him, as I've told Tony Kameen, who's fucking hilarious and also downgrades to work with me. I go, please, no crowd work. I'm begging you.
Oh, there you go.
I'm trying to get rid of material. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm, whatever. So he took the bullet and just did jokes and killed anyway. But I appreciated that. But the shows were really, really fun. Sacramento is great. It's an under because it's so near San Francisco. It's like an underrated comedy town in terms of crowds.
Right. I think the last time I did it was before. All of a sudden, I was told that they were only booking urban acts. And remember the 90s and the early 2000s when that was... They're trying to book more black people. Thank you. Thanks for playing. In other news, why don't you mix it up?
Well, Jackie, I'm pretty urban. I live in the mean streets of the Valley.
Right, the mean streets of Walnut Grove. Walnut Park, Walnut Tree. That's it.
But so I brought my son. He's with me this weekend, and so yesterday we went down to Old Sac, which is they do still have a comedy club called Laughs Unlimited there. But
yeah, I did that a couple of times. I did. First of all, whenever Old Sac comes up, I have to say that is the grossest name of any part of town ever. And that is what must be said. And kites and fudge.
Understood.
Kites and fudge. I did do that room when it was long. And when I first moved to LA, like 97, 98, I think I did.
So you did the original Laughs. That's the good one.
Laughs
where
Unlimited.
Scott Edwards is hosting.
And I featured for an up-close magician in the longest room in the world.
Oh my God. Was it the Great Scott? Was his name the Great Scott?
Yes, it was.
Okay, yeah. And he had like a long face and kind of longish hair.
Yeah, he was. I mean,
nice guy.
Yeah,
right.
Sure, perfectly fine. You can't do up close magic. To the 75 people that are not up close to you. Yeah.
Okay, you know
the 25 people that were enjoyed it.
I think Scott Edwards, who was the host, right? He's the club owner.
No, it wasn't Scott Edwards. I just recognized that name. I don't know the name of the magician.
No. Jackie, there's two Scotts in this story. I need you to calm down immediately.
The Great Scott. Why wouldn't it be the Great Scott Edwards? I bet you Scott Edwards thinks of himself as a great Scott.
You're combining two separate human beings into one person that doesn't exist. The Great Scott was a magician who worked Laughs Unlimited frequently because the owner/host, Scott Edwards, I think wanted to do magic or also did magic and liked magicians.
Right.
Okay. So Scott Edwards didn't MC your week because he was iconic as well.
Remember, it was 25 years ago, and I've had a couple shows in between, so I can't remember.
Okay. Did you ever work for Bill Brady in Chicago?
No.
Okay, well then this won't make any sense to you, but he was like the...
Those of you who are listening who know the characters of these, but probably a good story anyway. Let's hear it.
No, it's not really a great story. It's just the owner/MC that works every single show and does the same act every show.
Right.
And so when the audience starts returning, they start going, it's that guy. I know this. So they maybe start getting there late, or they don't really pay attention.
Remember the Bar Rescue place in Phoenix? Did you ever work the Bar Rescue comedy club that
I don't think so.
That Bar Rescue fucked with?
No, wait.
That the MC was the guy who owned it was
Sean Dillon?
He was an ex. No, that doesn't sound familiar. But he was a Marine,
and
he was a comic-ish, and he would do anywhere between 15 and 35 minutes before he introduced the MC.
Howard Hughes?
Yep, that was it.
Okay.
I don't know how I forgot that name. That's a very famous name. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, at this
I've always
point,
been psyched
I might have to open my own comedy club, Jackie, to make sure I have my spots during the week. We just opened a Monday through Thursday club and then shut it down on the weekends.
Oh my God, Maria would come. First episode of the year of the Dork Forest tomorrow. The Tuesday is Maria. She came. She's on vacation, right? Like she changed her phone number to just say vacation till 1:23. And so when I say, "Hey Siri, call Maria," don't do it, Siri. It always calls a comic from Chicago. And so I have accidentally talked to this comic from Chicago twice.
Oh my God.
In the last couple of weeks. Yeah. There's 3 stories in there if you want to scratch around in that.
Who's the comic? I was trying to figure out who the Maria
Oakland
Chicago
comic.
was.
Oh, it's actually an Oakland comic who's now in New York City, Maria Heinig. You remember her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's great.
Yeah,
she was
she's very funny.
And the last 2 times she was like, the last time she answered it, "Hi Jackie, not Maria Bamford." How's it going?
Funny.
But yeah, Maria's been on essentially sabbatical for the last month and a half. She's doing, and she of course did. She always does sometimes she does reality shows when she's on the Dork Forest. But yesterday it was more talk about money because she is just obsessed with the fact that she's always been obsessed with like sort of Debtors Anonymous, and she loves QuickBooks. She loves accountability. She loves a list of numbers like there's nobody's tomorrow. Right. And but she was talking about retirement and how her, like, I think her accountant was like, "You guys, you're going to need $4 million." And she's like, "To eke by the 2 of us, I think it'll be okay." And I was reminded that I guess my sister told me that my brother, this is the longest, we have time, story is that I guess my brother Russ has said that whatever money you have when you retire is enough money because there's no more money. You'll figure it out. And that's true with my dad, you know. He has no money. I talked to him last week, and he was at Christmas, and my Russ usually has him over for Christmas, but Sue had a cold, so I called my dad on Christmas, and he was trying to get some sympathy, and because I'm alone, I don't have a car, it's Christmas, and I'm like, well, since you spent most of the last 80 years avoiding Christmas, what are you gonna do, Dad? And he was like, "Well, I don't have a car. I've been invited to several parties, but I can't go." And I said, "So no one will take you?" He's like, "No, but then I'm trapped there." And I was, which is a classic Cajun. That is literally, I have 5 siblings, and we've always driven separately. And now my nieces and nephews, they all drive separately. We all drive separately. It's
generations are destroying the planet with your need to get out and do your Irish goodbyes.
Well, it's just when the inevitable fight happens, you could throw down $12 for your pasta. No tip. Leave the tip to whoever remains. Fuck off with your own phone. I remember I remember when it happened. Russ did that, and Russ and Sue, my sister-in-law, they were just dating at the time, and he threw down just enough money for the 2 of their entrees, stormed out, leaving his girlfriend. And there was this awkward pause, and then Sue goes, "Someone want to drive me home?"
Well,
it was. This is how old that story is. Martin Luther King Day was just invented, and that's what the argument was about.
Oh, I remember being a comic during that, and all the jokes.
Chris Rock had the definitive, I thought.
Was that on Black and Blacker? Wait,
I don't
what
know.
Special was that on? The name?
I thought I saw him do it, but it could have been. But he, it was how Texas or Arizona wasn't going to acknowledge it
Arizona.
as a federal
Arizona.
holiday, and he was like, "You have to be
Mhm.
enormously racist to give up a day off, a paid day off of work."
Right.
That was
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
did it better.
Yeah.
Obviously, so.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention because all I was thinking was that you need $4 million to retire. That hasn't left my brain and may never. What?
Oh, I know. I had dinner with a friend last night who just got staffed, and I mentioned your name, and she was like,
And
"Wait, Laurie Kilmartin? Wait, she wants what is she? All right, I'll mention." She's a showrunner, and none of the shows she was showrunning for got picked up, so she put on this whatever Reddit board or some fucking thing. I'm willing to be staffed, and moments later, she was staffed.
holy shit.
So it's, she's a really good writer and she's great, but it's
Wow.
also who you know, obviously, in the different niches of. So
I
it
know,
feels like
I
it's just
know.
like stand up, you know.
Well, I have
So-
my I got notes from Jose that I liked. One of them was like a choice note, where he didn't like
Oh, right.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I'm not
you
sure I agree in this case, but I see what you're saying. So I gave it to another comedy friend of ours for a second pass. I didn't tip it and say, hey, somebody
Look
doesn't
for
like this
this.
thing. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to see what she organically, her response was.
Yeah.
Bruce was like, normally I don't like this, but I don't mind. I like it here.
Okay.
So we'll see. But that's almost off my plate for now. And then I wanted to finish the tweaking the outline this weekend, so that would be ready to go, so I could start trying to pitch it. But it's been a lot of traveling this weekend, driving up here and then hanging out with my kid and stuff like that. So that'll be I wanted January 1st. January 1st to be like, that's done. That 10-month project, whatever. It'll be more like the 5th.
Let's go back to 3 of the 4 stories that I was telling at once. Patrick
Brady. Sorry to bore you, Jackie.
Not at all. We got another 40 minutes. We might as well just run through it. Patrick Brady asked me if I wanted to sort of do any sort of rebranding and look at analytics about the Dork Forest, and I was like, oh, that'd probably be a great idea. I have 1 day to do that. I can't. The Dork Forest logo, I really like the old logo. I like that. So I'm okay with
you
keeping
can modernize it though. Like it's always, brands do that too. They just modernize. They keep, Wendy's, that girl changes a little bit, but it's always the redhead, right? You can modernize it. I've just updated a teeny bit.
Right. I guess I'll look into that. And then analytics.
Add some pigtails.
And some pigtails to the D12 that's on the Dork Forest logo. Okay, yeah, maybe we change it to a D20, you guys. I found my Hero Forge. Did you get your Hero Forge yet?
I haven't been home for a while.
Okay,
but
did you design it, or is your young man?
He did it. He's doing it.
He did it. Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Cute. It's adorable.
And I have to say that his hands, I don't know if you can tell, but his hands have little red marks like stigmata, and that is an accident. I did not put that there. But remember, this character's name is Gaston Mansplain, and the fact that he's got stigmata is pretty fucking awesome.
Jackie, can you just, I know it's been a while for me, can you push that crotch up to the camera and let me take a look?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
His bulge is so great that his greatcoat parts ways.
Yes, so, I like it.
I don't know why Andy put it inside this. He safely wrapped it in some wax paper.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm married to a nerd.
You really are. Well, so I had 4 shows this weekend. Now today, tonight I'm at the Angelico Concert Hall, I think, in San Rafael with Mike Kaplan and Brent Weinbach. Well, here's the thing, like the promo is like please enjoy some tasteful, clean, topical comedy, and I'm like, Brent Weinbach. Wait, what?
Wait, Brent Weinbach's going to be awesomely weird. Mike Kaplan is going to, but they're both total like word.
Yeah.
They celebrate.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be
and
a
you're
really
going to get
fun
up
show.
and just sort of a broad brush of you're going to fucking destroy. Did you bring merch?
I've been selling a little bit of merch. I have 2 of our little hats left. People bought them pretty well.
Good.
In Sacramento. Yeah, so I got a little bit. I have an idea for merch that I have to execute that. So that's going to take up some brain. Here's the thing.
Can I help?
I have. Yes. Yeah.
Can I help with the merch? Just because I fear just this is a tool. I'm a tool, you guys, that you should use, a merch tool.
About you.
I know you're constantly like, Jackie, what a tool. Yes.
I call you a total tool, and you could take that any way you want. Yeah, I'll tell you off mic. But
right.
no, so yeah, I sold some merch. It was okay. And
good.
The hats do okay, They're not flying off the shelves, but they do fine. I'm out, I think. Or the 2 I have left are out of the wrapper, so I'd have to wash them and sell them at a discount. Let people know they were on my head for a second. Unless
maybe that's a draw.
Maybe I add money to that one, right?
Exactly, right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Punchline also does this thing where they're like, they do have some acts that sell out every single show. I did pretty well considering it's the weekend before New Year's. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a huge. I wondered if because I saw Steph Tala was still promoting her Saturday shows at Zany's, and I was like, wow, because I know Steph's like on a run right now. Yeah. And so I was surprised. So people kind of stayed home this weekend if they were going to go out on New Year's Eve, I think.
I did the improv.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Improv, not last night, but the night before. I did the Friday. And it was fucking jowl to jowl of Americana. I was like, you guys, I'm uncomfortable with how many people are in this room. Right. There was nowhere for me to sit. Yeah. I actually went up to the Hollywood Improv green room.
Oh,
which is always a sign that there's not even anywhere to lurk because they've sold that corner out.
Yeah.
And Craig Robinson was just hanging out with his girlfriend and a friend
was
of his.
He on the show?
Yeah, he was on the show.
Okay.
Yes. And so, but it was her and Jessica Singleton.
Okay.
I know that she has a middle name. Is it Michelle?
She's hilarious.
Michelle.
Jessica Michelle, JMS. Yes.
Yeah, she's been a comic of the week. She was so funny. We had 15s, right? So weekend gig at the you get 15s.
Yeah.
It was so she's clipped out one of the bits that she did last night. Yeah. But so because I was looking at her Instagram. But the rest of it was just so pointed and just like essentially if there was going to be a theme to it, it was like, I love men, but you guys are assholes.
That's great.
I want to hang out with you. I want to make out with you. I want to have sex with you. I have a boyfriend. Why is the patriarchy such a hunk of junk? And it was smart. And
I love it.
I was like, oh, Christ. If you had a sword, you would have. And the women were losing their shit, and the guys, the good dudes in the audience, and even all the dudes in the audience they were like, "Holy!" And some of the guys were just laughing, So it was. I
wish I'd seen it. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I love.
It was such a great set. Yeah, and then I had to follow that, and I did. And so I decided to
slightly diminishing your enjoyment of the set is in your head. Wait, I gotta go next. Oh, fuck.
Wait, I was gonna work on that. Oh no, don't work on the patriarchy bit.
I'm not working on anything.
I'm not working on anything. Well,
I'm working on remembering things that crush. Yeah.
Oh, I actually, because there was a couple. There were these two women in the front row who literally were talking at this level about how they wanted more drinks and it wasn't possible. Mm-hmm. They were like, well, what would we get? And I was trying desperately to get through my new driving bit. And I just cut to the last punchline and then I said, what's the problem over here? And so if I got footage from the improv, I could I could have a clip of me just essentially talking about how my last DUI was from the improv. That's what I was telling him. I was like, that was my last. You
You
guys,
should get that.
I
Do they
got
have a
mine.
camera at the improv?
Yeah, they do. They probably
Oh, I didn't
recorded
know
it.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know they had a
and
camera there.
oh my
'Cause
god, the sound guy is constantly. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just blowing my nose. Yeah, you should get that.
Yeah, I'd like to get that. I did do some crowd work from Ann Arbor. I posted. I felt bad about it because
You
I
know,
was just riffing. Yeah.
so what? You know, and look, everyone likes to bitch about whatever's happening in comedy. If you have good crowd work bits, put them up there. You know what the lame ones are. You know what
No,
the easy stuff is. I'm just saying in general to comics, like,
in general, yeah.
you know, don't let people that are mad about, they're mad about, just like we're mad about bad jokes. Like,
right.
So bad crowd work, easy crowd work, don't waste anyone's time. But if you got good shit, put it up there, man. It's fun. People like it.
People do like it. Hey, let's take a quick break.
No. Oh, okay.
Comic of the week. You just worked with her.
Okay, our MC, first of all, easily could feature. She was really funny. Her name's Melissa McGillicuddy.
Awesome
She's
name.
a Sacramento comic, very funny, very sharp. She watches the show, goes up and does callbacks in between.
Okay.
Like called back something I said after my set, got a huge laugh. I was like,
oh, wow.
normally I'd be
throwaway?
jealous.
Yeah,
but I was like, ooh, that was a good one. I like it. I mean, she's great. She's really sharp and funny. What's her Instagram, Kyle? I posted it up there.
Meowlissa MG or MCG. MEOWLISSA MGC. Meowlissa MCG.
All right. There's trouble
possibly there. Worse than any Laurie 16. Possibly.
Can I just say how proud I am of Kyle Clark as Red? No, at Jackie Cation.
Yeah,
because it's just my name.
So. I know, very easy. But first of all, try to decipher her Instagram, Melissa McGillicuddy. Gillicuddy, 2 L's, two D's. You know how Gillicuddy's spelled, and she was just really, really good. So
that's awesome.
Find her and check her out. You'll enjoy her clips. They're really sharp and funny.
Cool. Well, I like it. And now Jackie, I'm going to tell you the reason I apologize. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. My
one of the lines in my riffing was that the entire generation watched their grandmothers die on an iPad. And that's why I felt bad, was because essentially I was cannibalizing your fucking life. So I just felt bad. So
I didn't. I mean, yeah.
You haven't seen it. I just wanted you to, before you see it, and then go, holy shit, Cation, thanks so much for belittling and making minute my
Jackie.
Suffering. Yes,
I think that's a separate joke because you're talking about
a separate joke, but
yeah. So don't feel like you're cannibalizing. My joke about that is actually that information is in the setup. And the joke is a callback to porn, horribly. So
it's a good joke. It's a real good joke.
Thank you. So don't worry about that. That you should keep that because that's a great, commentary on what's happening in America right now.
Sure.
So if I am COVID free after this week, I'm gonna believe in God. I'm traveling with my son, who was in Texas for 5 days among the unvaxxed. Don't believe in vaccines. Don't boost. Oof. Don't do anything.
Not even the children?
I gave him many mitigation tools, and I know he used the nasal spray pretty regularly, and I think he plugged in the air purifier. I said to put in the comment around. Fingers crossed. We did get our Novavax booster right before all this went down, but it takes a couple days to kick in. So his was like literally the day before he went to Texas. So so far he seems fine. No symptoms. He's fine. I've just been but I'm with him all the time. So if he has it and it's bubbling, it's like asymptomatic or it's in the pre-symptomatic days, there's no way I'm not getting it because I'm in his airspace. So, and
did you ever get it? Why can't I remember that? Yeah, I've never gotten it either. It's weird.
When I was doing, merch sales and stuff, people, they do so many pictures at the punchline. I was like taking the mask on and off, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is just, I'm taking it off so much that to have it on for 15 seconds between people is just a waste of energy. Oh, I was going to get that. I'm sorry. Thank you. I dropped something. I was going to get it after our podcast, but the cleaning lady got it. I'm embarrassed.
Wow, you're just throwing coffee cups around.
I am. It was one of these little things. It was one of these little clean guys.
All right.
And so anyway, hopefully I'll get through this. I'm going to get a PCR test like on maybe Wednesday just to triple check. Oh, so last week, you know, I'm going through this whole rebranding with Melanie and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Bruce, my manager, is a photographer. He's a really great photographer. And he does, if you're a client, as I am, he does them for free. I was like, yes. And so we did a photo shoot, and I was very stressed about that. You know, I don't like photo shoots, whatever, you know, it's a lot to organize. And I like these people, rich people, celebrities, they have stylists who go, oh, let me get some outfits for you, right? And so you almost have to pretend you're not you and just go, well, what do I want for my client? Me, a size 14. And, you know, so I bought a bunch of stuff. I hate shopping. I bought a bunch of stuff, brought it, didn't use it, returned a lot of it, fine. But it was just a lot to organize. The shopping was very stressful. I don't know what looks good on me. I hate everything. I just want to wear pajamas, right? And so I'm like, I just tried a bunch of shit. We had a makeup artist who was great, and we did, you know, we did stuff, and it was a lot of fun. So he said there's a lot of good shots I have to go through. That's another. So I have all these pictures I have to look at that I don't want to look at, and then Kyle sent me the second version of my bombing video from Austin that I still have to look at. I'm sure it's great, but we gotta. It's it's a lot to. The looking at yourself is, you know.
Right. I asked the way my dates are set up, Squarespace changed, and Bamford has an older version of Squarespace, and so I like how her tour page looks. And so I was like, "Hey, Melanie, can I have that?" And she's like, "You can't. They've changed it." And then she made a little video showing me how to do things. So I have 1,900 things to do, but I don't know.
Me too.
When I'll do them. But I have a set tonight. I'm opening
things, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Things.
And then maybe there'll be money eventually.
Maybe, maybe later on down the line. Yeah, I get it. It's fucking business.
I picked up a set tonight, New Year's Eve. It's not my favorite, but Rita asked me to do a tenor in front of Patton Oswalt on the early show.
Nice.
So at the Improv. So that'll be fun.
Hey, Jackie, could your intro be one half of the Jackie and Laurie show and say Laurie loud so somebody can pop hears it and fucking gives me a spot every now and then?
Yeah, that'd be great. It's but you got to open for him. Didn't you open for him at no, it was Marin you got to open for and somebody else
at the
Largo.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
I am opening for Marin at Largo on the 9th. Which is a
Color
Tuesday.
Me jealous, but that'll happen.
And you and I, by the way, guys,
right, January 8th, Monday.
We are having a show January 8th with several comics of the week. It's a Monday night. You're not doing anything. It's a Flappers. It'll be a fun night. They have great food. My son is a hamburger connoisseur, and he loves the Flappers hamburger. He puts it on a par with the In-N-Out hamburger, which is stunning, a revelation. So come out to our January 8th show. If you're a Jackie and Laurie fan, you will come to the January 8th show. And if you're not, why are you listening to this podcast?
If you live in the Los Angeles area.
Yes.
I went to dinner with my friend who's going to be writing on some murder show on NBC called The Front, I think. And we went to a place called Pie and Burger. Pie and Burger. And I had a burger, and then guess what I had? Piece of pie. Okay, so, but it was delicious, and burgers aren't my jam, right? I mean, but it was in the name. So
yeah,
if I'm going to go,
you couldn't complain about it, right? You can't be like, you only have burgers at Pie and Burger.
No, they had quite a nice menu actually but I wanted, if you've named yourself Pie and Burger, the first meal I'm going to have there is the Pie and Burger.
Yeah.
Just because unless for some, I mean, if it were sardines and lemonade, I don't think I'd have that. That's not my jam. But it was really good. And their burger, I wonder if your young man would like their burger.
Probably.
He likes burgers. So that's great.
Well, Jackie, it wasn't, but you know what? It's the people get to hear that we aren't comic geniuses all the time. Sometimes we trail off into meaningless details, and that makes us seem human to them, which is good.
And really, that's what podcasts are about. They're about the humanity. And so I'm supposed to do the Whaler this week. I'm home for another weekend. I have been home so much. Right? Didn't you just do it again?
I just did. Oh my God! Oh, I forgot to tell you. So, I didn't have sets. Half the clubs in this fucking town were closed on Christmas night, Christmas Eve.
Right.
Like the weaklings they are. Okay, and so we had no sets. And I'm like, I can't have a week off and then headline at the Punchline. I need some stage time, right? So I did the Whaler. The Whaler is fun. It's a bar. It is an absolute bar room, but guess what? We aren't TikTokers. We started out in bars and we know how to work bars. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just like, talking over a conversation, getting the conversation to stop, telling someone not to videotape, right? But I was like, good. I activated the performing part of my brain. That's all I wanted before I got up on stage, right? And then that was Wednesday. Thursday, I didn't want to drive 9 hours to Sacramento and do 2 shows. So I split it up into 2 nights. We drove to Pleasant Hill, we got a room in Pleasant Hill, and visited my parents' grave, whatever, the niche, and, did check the house, make sure that no one cut down my dad's trees that he planted. I don't know what I'm going to do if I drive by my childhood home and those trees are down. I will fucking set it on fire with the residents in it. But then I put up on the Bay Area comedy group. I'm like, can I do a set? Is there any open mic in East Bay? And I ended up doing a set at this open mic in Berkeley called at the Four Bells Public House.
Oh, nice.
And it was just like such an open mic. It was fun, but it was like, it's 5 hours long. Everyone's doing 5. There's a ton of comic. It just was like, wow, fucking comedy is incredibly popular and you're talking over people. And so it was like two bar shows in a row, and I was like, I am back to my roots as a comic. And then, but they were so like challenging in the bar show way that by the time I was on stage, at 7:30 on a Friday night, it was like, this is easy. These guys are great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So my long story short, have fun at the Whaler. It's fun.
I'm trying to figure out. So I did. Yeah, I don't know why that's like that. Anyway, so I did.
I knew you weren't paying attention because you were nodding along, not interrupting me. I could tell that you were writing something. Your eyes were down. I'm like, all right, I'll just keep talking while you. I don't know. You filling out your calendar for the year.
So the only set I did was the improv. I was just kind of curious to see if I had gone up anywhere else, and I have not. Mm-hmm. And this week. I just have the improv tonight, and then the Whaler, I think, the 31st. And I'm not a huge, we're going to go. All right. I am looking at my thing. Sorry. We're going to go to an art exhibit downtown called the Luna for Andy's birthday. And it's essentially, it's like Hockney and why am I spacing his name? Famous AIDS artist Keith Harring, thank you.
Okay. Famous AIDS artist.
Had it too fast.
He did 2 facts. It turns out I played a board game this weekend called the Poetry for Neanderthals, and essentially you have to say 1-syllable words to get someone to pick the word on the card, and so that's what that reminded me of, Kyle.
Okay.
Poetry for Neanderthals. You did good, Keith Harring. So, but we're going to go that on Thursday afternoon in the hopes that that'll be for Andy's birthday. Andy's birthday's at the end of the month, but it doesn't have any dates closer to the end of the month, and I don't want it to close and us to miss it. So,
Yeah. This weekend I'm at the Guild in Menlo Park, which is in Silicon Valley. It's a tiny little town in
Weird.
in the Palo Alto area.
A
A
two-nighter?
little south of all that. No, just a one-nighter. It's
Okay.
John Fox who books puts together shows. He used to
Yeah,
book
he
the
does.
Punchline way back in the day. So he just threw that up. It's me and a couple other San Francisco comics. He does kind of like he does a San Francisco comedy competition. So he'll do shows throughout the year, like Best of the Fest, and claw me back up here for just enough money
I was gonna say,
not a lot, just enough.
that's what it is. It's just enough. Somebody
Yeah.
asked me to do something in rural Pennsylvania for Air Hotel and just enough money. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Air Hotel and just enough money is fine.
Yeah.
If I'm open, I was not open for the date. I did recommend you. You'll be happy to
Oh,
know.
thank
I don't know
you.
if I gave her your email address. So.
Yeah, and then the following week, 11 through the 13, I'm in Grand Rapids at Dr. Grin's.
Oh, cool.
I
did it last year. I haven't done it in. I guess I'm not doing it. All right.
Well, I mean,
nice work making it about me. I'm so sorry. So that's
no,
great.
I do that
next
every
week
time
I'm
you
in
mention
Denver.
your gigs. Yeah, I know. You were waiting for me to announce a club that you didn't work last year, so you could announce a club that I didn't work last year. I get it, Jackie. I understand your little
I'm
tit for tat
diabolical.
lifestyle.
I'm so diabolical. How did it happen? How did I get? If I could think so, if I had that sort of mindset, God, I'd be so much further along. But I think my brain would be on fire.
No, I
So-
have that mindset, and I'm not that far along, so don't worry about it.
It's So I'll go to Denver on the Wednesday because they usually have me do
Media. Radio.
media on the Thursday, and then so it'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday at and then I think I'm at Rooster T. Feathers.
I gotta
in a couple of weeks.
I gotta call. I gotta get roosters on the books
Right.
this year.
As we say different. What are you doing? Wait a minute. Let me write that down. How do I get that gig? And so my thing with Fox is he still paying like 2 weeks late? Do you still get a check from him after?
No. That was the 90s John Fox. He's
Okay.
on it. Like you get a
He's
check
on it.
that night. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I also enjoy Venmo. Just you can do this, folks.
Yeah.
It'd be great. And I got a check for advertising from Max Fun, and it was so small, and I've been so busy that I haven't cashed it yet. And I was like, "Hey, Rockefeller, why don't you cash that check?"
I want to tell because my special about my dad dying, 45 jokes about my dead dad. The album is not the bestseller you'd think it would be, and I want to tell a special thing. I'm like, you guys, you don't have to send me that little check every month. You could, save it up, and then at the end of the
Once
year,
a
I'll get a little enough to buy
a bump.
A bump. I don't. Is that a cocaine reference, Jackie?
I don't even know. Did you ever do cocaine, Laurie?
No. Mm-mm.
It didn't.
No.
Didn't take. No.
No.
I only did it when it was free, so I've done it twice. I'm frugal. Actually, I'd pay for booze. I was very lucky in the fact that I tried coke and I didn't like it.
Yeah, seems my son to troll me tells me he's going to start smoking. He wants to try cigarettes once. And so when we were in Old Sac. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So yeah, I went to visit the old Blast Unlimited. There's nothing there. It's locked up. Like that is a primo comedy space. I know there's a new Blast Unlimited.
Room?
Yeah,
Okay.
just down the street. But that is a primo comedy space. It's a tragedy. It's a crime against humanity that it's locked up.
Well, maybe don't tell. Put something up there. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Oh boy. So
They don't have anything in San Francisco. Don't tell.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that weird? Because I signed up for it.
I gotta do that. Yeah. There are a ton of little candy shops, as you said, on
Yeah.
Old Sac. It's all
Yeah,
candy
there
shops,
is.
and so I got my son some candy cigarettes. Do you remember those from back in the day? I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what you can do. Why don't you try it? So he had one hanging out of his mouth like a doofus
Oh, I
in
bet he looks so
Sacramento.
cool.
He did. Jack Kylie looks so
He looks
cool.
so cool. He looks
He's
so
the
cool.
coolest looking guy.
Was it the kind that was gum, or was that you
Yeah.
blew it and it
Yeah,
put out sugar? Those
Yes,
were the good
yeah.
ones. Those
Yeah,
were
those
the
are the
good
good ones. Yeah, they had other offers, and I'm like, you got to get the good ones if you're going to do this. If he even touches an actual cigarette, that I will fucking lose my shit. How dare you? How dare you?
You're
And
like,
don't do it as a tribute.
I didn't keep you alive all of these years so that you could throw it away.
Exactly.
I know you.
You know what? You
Some
can get a
pomegranate mist
tattoo, but
vaping. Yeah.
you cannot damage those lungs. I gave you perfect, healthy lungs, and they better stay that way.
Right. Your innards belong to me.
Yes,
You
they
may
do.
tat yourself up from head to toe. Get a
Tat,
face
you can
tattoo
pierce
that
whatever you
says,
want.
I love my mom.
No, not that face.
No.
And those
don't-
teeth. Leave them teeth alone. I paid a lot for those.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not done paying for teeth. You know, he's missing the front tooth. It got knocked out, like almost
Oh.
as soon the adult one.
Oh,
So he has a bridge fake tooth in now, and he has to, when he's like 25, then he'll put in an actual tooth because his jaw will be finished growing. Like
right.
the tooth journey is a long one. Started
Right.
at age like 6. Really annoying
That is annoying.
because it happened with his ex stepmother family. I'm just like, I didn't have custody that weekend, you know? It's like,
Oh.
of course, whatever.
Of course. I will say that I want to get the bottom row of my teeth fixed, but because I did get my top teeth fixed because in your 50s, that's when you want to start really start looking into your dental. But I don't know if I must grind my teeth or something. I don't know what it is, but I know that I had I had a tooth knocked. I broke a tooth when I was little, and then I don't know. I think I broke these at the same time, but yeah, because you do a lot of selfie stuff now with cameras, and I'm like, oh, look at my lower jaw. Anyway,
I
I've
know,
weeded
Jackie.
off. Let's take another break.
Okay.
I have to say this. I'm doing a gig in Park City, Utah on the 20. I forget when it is. It's Park City, Utah, whatever. January 24th, but it's kind of a private. I asked Keith Barony, I was like, so is there a link or something I can do? And they're like, and he said, no, you have to be Pharaoh level at this certain club thing, and it's during Sundance. And by the way, it's during Sundance. So my hotel, I thought it was, he said, oh yeah, there's a hotel. The hotel's in Salt Lake City, which is a little over an hour away. Yeah.
Wait, do you have to drive down a mountain to get back to your hotel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, who's going to drive you?
I rented a car because remember, I'm in Cajun. I don't want to.
But Jackie, are you driving through snow? Are you going to have do chains and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I mean, I'm from Wisconsin or Minnesota. It'll be fine.
I know, but still.
Yeah.
Jackie,
I'm sure it'll be fine. It's I'm going to go early because I've never been to Park City.
Yeah.
And but then I have 2 shows, and I was looking at the thread of information, and Keith is gonna open, and so the initial offer was 2 50-minute sets, 50, right? It's since morphed into 2 55 to 65-minute sets, and I'm like, well, good luck. And I'm just gonna go and do stand up, and then well, I guess that'll be over. And then, but right, like, because I'm also doing Sketchfest right not long after that. I don't know why that's not on my calendar. Oh, probably because it's another private-y kind of, you have to buy like passes and stuff. I'm just opening for Maria on the 27th of January. But then February, it's not. Here's the thing.
Jackie, do we have to in real time discover your calendar problems? Can't you just list your fucking dates without getting into the weeds of HTML?
It's literally, I don't know what the hell happened to my calendar, but it is fucking weird, and it definitely needs, because I'm doing, the beginning of February, I'm doing Rooster Teeth Feathers, but I'm also like opening for Maria and Fargo and Duluth, and I'm and so there's all these dates that I swear to God I put them in the Squarespace, and now they're not there. So
I believe you. I do believe you.
You believe me, but if people went to my website and wanted to get tickets, they couldn't do it because
Jackie,
it's not up
if
to
you are,
date. I have to do it.
Well, I have this just in my head where I store my calendar, and January 24th, I will be at the Academia Center in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, that's right. You're doing that Lafayette Comedy Club, right?
Yeah, it's not a club. It's a theater in Lafayette, and then I go to Paris,
I saw
Texas.
the lineup. It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I go to Paris, Texas for the comedy festival that weekend. It's either the 25th or 26th or 26th or 27th. I am not on mine. Hold on. I guess I should bring mine up since we're doing that.
Yeah. How's your formatting? It's, how it's just muscle memory, right? I just have to do it 1,000 times and then I'll know how to do it. Right.
Jackie, we need to be wealthy enough to have assistants. This is ridiculous that we have to do this ourselves at this January 25th.
Don't they know? I already have Amazon Prime. Does no one care?
January 25th is when I'm in Louisiana, at Lafayette, Louisiana, and tickets are on my website, guys.
Have you ever been to Louisiana? I
have. Oh my gosh, I was in. I worked the Baton Rouge Funny Bone, which was basically in a barn, and I was headlining. I think this is like the 90s, right? And
Rich Miller.
The MC. Not only was he a Cajun, he had crawled out of an alligator's mouth to do a set. Like, I couldn't understand a fucking word this guy was saying, and he was killing. It was all local references.
Right.
It was all like the streets around the club. It was just, I'm like, what are you saying? Why do these people understand you? And how am I going to talk to them?
And then you went up and it was fine, right?
I don't remember bombing, so I'm thinking it was fine, but it was terrifying, and it was like a weekend, so it was five shows of not knowing what's happening in front of me. Like It was like you might as well have been speaking Portuguese, and then brought me up, right? And then I was driving in this. I remember this run because I was driving to Beaumont, Texas. I don't know if Beaumont was before Baton Rouge or after, but they were on a run together somehow, and I was on a 2-lane highway and traffic was completely stopped, and no one was moving. And so we're all getting out of our cars. And I asked another woman I go, what's happening? Do you know? And she said, this is what I heard, a table rick. And I was like, ah. And then I asked her to repeat it. And she said, there's been a table rick. And later I realized she said there was a terrible wreck. But I didn't know. I'm like, am I in America still? What are these people saying to me?
I got wreck. I didn't get to a table.
And then my dad would send me like newspaper clippings of like car accidents and say,
that's where you
table
get
Rick.
It. That's where you get it. I have to say that I was once driving across, I think it was North Dakota, going to a gig, and probably Minot, because that's the thing I did most regular. And, in North Dakota, you are usually alone on the highway. And unless there's some sort of army truck. But in front of me, there was an older couple, and the lanes, it's probably 2 to 4 lanes, right? What going in either direction, and then there's like a ditch in between, right? No oleanders, they're not California. They're not making it nice.
Right.
And So I was just driving along, cruise control, listening, no doubt, to an episode of Cheers that I audio taped and listened to.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The work we had to do to entertain ourselves back then. These kids don't understand.
I had all 3 of the first Star Wars on audio. I had just literally just
Hell
audio
yes.
taped it and would listen to the movies.
Oh
and,
my God.
And the 2 good Indiana Jones. Anyway, so the and a bunch of Cary Grant movies. But so I'm driving along. I'm in. I believe I'm in my Tercel at this point. You can see into the car right in front of me because we're both going 75 essentially. There's maybe 78. And I can see over to the left that they are arguing. He is yelling. She is shaking her hands up and down. And then all of a sudden, he's driving. He drives into the ditch and then back up off the ditch. And
that's psychotic.
It was psychotic because she just and I followed him for a little while. She didn't, not a pipe, not a peep out of her after that because they were going 70 miles an hour. Yeah, it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa. I mean, that's a guy that kills the woman and then himself later.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Here's the order of operations, gentlemen. Suicide, then homicide.
Then murder.
Yes. Order of operations. Very important. Hey, we're at an hour. Let's call it.
Okay.